You work for me, Judge. I pay your salary. You'll dismiss this case right now, or I'll have you removed by Thursday. Those words hung in my courtroom like poison gas. I'm Judge Frank Caprio. I've been serving Providence Municipal Court for over 30 years. I've heard a lot of things from behind this bench: excuses, apologies, anger, fear. But never, not once, had someone tried to fire me in front of a packed gallery. The man who said it was Senator Richard Drummond, 58 years old, silver hair slicked back with too much gel, a navy suit that probably cost more than most people make in a month, gold cufflinks catching the fluorescent lights. He stood there with his arms crossed, looking at me like I was a waiter who'd gotten his order wrong. If you believe justice should be equal for everyone, you'll want to see what happens next. Let me back up. It was a Tuesday morning, the kind of morning where the radiators clanked and the coffee in my chambers tasted burnt. My bailiff, Officer Martinez, called the next case around 10:15. Case 2026 TR 4471, he announced. City of Providence versus Marcus Whitley. Marcus Whitley shuffled to the defendant's table. 23 years old. Thin kid wearing a faded Providence College sweatshirt with a small bleach stain on the sleeve. His hands shook a little as he held a manila folder. His sneakers squeaked on the tile floor. I smiled at him. Good morning, Mr. Whitley. How are you today? Nervous, Your Honor, he admitted. His voice cracked. That's normal, I said gently. Tell me what brings you here. Marcus explained that he was a nursing student, full-time classes during the day, night shifts, stocking shelves at a grocery store to pay for school. His mom was sick, diabetes complications, and he helped with her medical bills. 3 weeks ago, he was driving home after a double shift. It was 2 a.m. He ran a red light at the intersection of Hope and Angel Street. No accident, no one hurt, but a traffic camera caught it. The fine was $350. For Marcus, that was groceries for a month, or his mom's insulin copays. I'm not making excuses, Your Honor, Marcus said quietly. I messed up. I was exhausted, but I can't afford this right now. I was hoping we could work out a payment plan. I nodded. I was about to respond when the courtroom doors slammed open. Senator Drummond strode in like he owned the building. 2 assistants scurried behind him, one holding a briefcase, the other tapping on a phone. Drummond didn't wait for permission. He walked straight past the gallery rail and stood next to Marcus at the defendant's table. Your Honor, Drummond said, not bothering to introduce himself, I'm here to resolve this matter quickly. This young man works for me. That surprised me. I looked at Marcus. He looked just as confused. Mr. Whitley works for you? I asked. He stocks shelves at one of my grocery stores, Drummond said dismissively. I own the chain. I heard about his little traffic problem and decided to help. I'm a generous employer. Marcus looked uncomfortable. Senator, I didn't ask you to... Quiet, Drummond snapped. Then he turned back to me with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Judge Caprio, I'll pay the fine. Let's wrap this up. I have a lunch meeting in Boston. Something felt off. I've been doing this long enough to know when someone's playing games. That's very kind of you, Senator, I said carefully, but I need to understand the details of this case first. Mr. Whitley, did you ask Senator Drummond to come here today? No, Your Honor, Marcus said. I didn't even know he knew about this. Drummond waved his hand like he was swatting a fly. I take care of my people, Judge. Now let's move this along. I felt my jaw tighten. Senator, I appreciate your willingness to help, but this is still a court proceeding. I need to review the evidence and hear from Mr. Whitley. Drummond's smile faded. Judge, I'm a very busy man. I'm offering to pay. Accept it and move on. Mr. Drummond, I said, keeping my voice steady, in this courtroom, we follow procedure. You're welcome to stay, but please take a seat in the gallery. The courtroom went quiet. People in the benches shifted. Someone coughed. Drummond didn't move. Do you know who I am? Yes, sir, I said. You're a state senator, but right now, you're a guest in my courtroom. Please sit down. His face flushed red, but he walked to the front row and sat down hard. His assistants sat on either side of him, looking nervous. I turned back to Marcus. Mr. Whitley, let's talk about what happened that night. As Marcus explained the details again, I pulled up the traffic camera footage on my monitor. The timestamp showed 2:04 a.m. The video was clear. Marcus's car, a beat-up Honda Civic, approached the intersection. The light was red. The car slowed down but didn't stop. It rolled through and continued down the street. It was a violation, no question, but I've seen worse. Your Honor, Marcus said, I know I should have stopped. I wasn't paying attention. I'm really sorry. Before I could respond, Drummond stood up again. Judge, this is ridiculous, he barked. The kid made a mistake. I'm paying the fine. End of story. I looked at him. Senator, I've asked you once to sit down. I won't ask again. Or what? Drummond stepped forward. You'll hold me in contempt? Do you have any idea how much influence I have in this state? The gallery gasped. Officer Martinez moved toward Drummond, but I raised my hand slightly, signaling him to wait. Senator, I said calmly, your influence doesn't matter here. In this courtroom, everyone is equal. Drummond laughed, a sharp, ugly sound. Equal? That's a nice fairy tale, Judge. But let's be honest, I know the governor, I know the mayor, I approved the budget that funds this courthouse. So when I tell you to wrap this up, you wrap it up. My chest felt tight. 30 years of service, thousands of cases. I've always believed that justice is blind, that no matter how much money you have or who you know, the law is the law. And here was a man trying to turn my courtroom into a marketplace. Senator Drummond, I said, my voice low, you need to sit down right now. He didn't. Instead, he pulled out his phone. I'm texting the Attorney General. You're done, Caprio. Officer Martinez stepped forward. Sir, phones are not allowed during court proceedings. Drummond ignored him. He kept typing. I made a decision. Bailiff, please take Senator Drummond's phone. Martinez reached for it. Drummond jerked away. Don't you dare touch me. Senator, I said, standing up behind the bench, you are disrupting this court. Put the phone away, or I will hold you in contempt. Drummond's eyes narrowed. You don't have the authority. I absolutely do. He sneered. Then do it. I dare you. The room felt electric. Every person in the gallery was frozen. Marcus looked terrified. The court reporter's fingers hovered over her keys. I took a breath. Senator Richard Drummond, you are in contempt of court. Bailiff, please escort him to holding. Drummond exploded. Are you insane? I'm a state senator. Officer Martinez and another officer moved toward him. Drummond backed up, pointing at me. You just ended your career, Caprio. I will have you disbarred. I will have you investigated. I'll make sure you never work in this state again. Bailiff, I said quietly. They took his arms. Drummond struggled. Get your hands off me. Do you know who I am? As they led him toward the side door, he turned back and shouted the words that would change everything. I own you, Judge. You work for me. I pay your salary with my tax dollars. You'll dismiss this case right now, or I'll have you removed by Thursday. 10 seconds of silence. Then the gallery erupted. Throw him out! Who does he think he is? You tell him, Judge! People were on their feet. Some were clapping. An older woman in the back row shouted, That's not how it works, Senator! My hands were trembling. I'd never felt anything like this, the anger, the disrespect, but also something else, a deep, burning need to make sure this man understood what he'd just done. Senator Drummond, I said, and my voice cut through the noise like a blade. The room went silent again. You need to hear something, and I'm going to say it in front of everyone here. The officers paused. Drummond stood between them, breathing hard, his face purple. You said you pay my salary, I continued. You're right. Taxpayers fund this court. But you don't own me, Senator. You don't own this courtroom, and you certainly don't own justice. I pointed at Marcus. This young man came here today because he made a mistake. He ran a red light. He's a nursing student working 2 jobs to take care of his sick mother. He didn't ask for special treatment. He didn't name drop. He didn't threaten anyone. He just asked for fairness. Drummond tried to speak. Judge, I'm not finished, I said sharply. You walked in here like you were doing him a favor, but you weren't here to help Marcus Whitley, were you? You were here to show off, to remind everyone how powerful you are, to prove that the rules don't apply to you. I leaned forward. But here's the truth, Senator Drummond. In this courtroom, the rules apply to everyone. That's what justice means. It doesn't matter if you're a senator or a student, rich or poor, connected or alone. When you stand in front of this bench, you're equal. The gallery was silent now. You could hear the radiators hissing. You said I work for you, I went on. That's wrong. I work for the people of Providence, all of them, including Marcus Whitley. My job is to be fair, to listen, to make decisions based on the law, not based on who has the most money or the most friends in high places. I looked at Drummond, really looked at him. His arrogance was cracking. His eyes darted around the room. Do you know what Marcus told me before you walked in? I asked. He said he was nervous. He admitted he messed up. He took responsibility. That's called integrity, Senator. When was the last time you did that? Drummond's mouth opened. Nothing came out. You tried to intimidate me, I said quietly. You threatened my job. You disrupted my courtroom. You disrespected this process. And worst of all, you treated Marcus like he was invisible, like his struggles didn't matter because you had the power to make them disappear. I paused. That's not generosity, Senator. That's control. And I won't allow it here. Someone in the gallery whispered, Amen. I straightened up. Here's what's going to happen. First, we're going to finish Mr. Whitley's case. Then, Senator Drummond, you and I are going to have a very serious conversation about your behavior. I turned to Marcus. Mr. Whitley, I've reviewed the footage. You did run that red light, but I've also heard your story. I'm going to reduce your fine to $100 and give you 90 days to pay. You can make payments of $25 a month. Does that work for you? Marcus's eyes filled with tears. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're welcome, I said. And Marcus, keep working hard. Your mom is lucky to have you. He nodded, wiping his face. Now I turned back to Drummond. Senator, approach the bench. The officers brought him forward. He looked smaller now, deflated. You were held in contempt, I said. That charge stands, but I'm going to give you a choice. You can apologize to this court and to Mr. Whitley right now, or you can spend the night in a holding cell while I decide your sentence tomorrow. Drummond swallowed hard. Your Honor, I... Make it good, Senator. He took a breath. Then he turned to Marcus. Mr. Whitley, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have... I was out of line. It sounded forced, but it was a start. Now apologize to the court, I said. Drummond faced me. Your Honor, I apologize. I disrespected your courtroom. It won't happen again. I nodded slowly. All right. Here's your sentence. You will pay a contempt fine of $5,000. That money will go directly to a fund that helps low-income defendants cover court fees. Drummond winced but said nothing. Second, I continued, you will perform 80 hours of community service. You will work at a food bank in Providence every Saturday for the next 5 months. 8 hours a shift. You will stock shelves, clean floors, and help people who are struggling to feed their families. And you will do it quietly. No press, no photo ops, just work. His jaw clenched. Your Honor, I'm not done, I said. Third, you will write a handwritten letter of apology to this court and to Marcus Whitley. 1 page minimum. You will explain what you did wrong and what you learned. You will submit it to me within 2 weeks. I paused. And fourth, you will give a talk at Providence College about public service and humility. The school will choose the date. You will speak to students about the importance of treating people with respect, no matter who they are. You will not mention your political career unless it's to admit your mistakes. Drummond looked like he wanted to argue, but he just nodded stiffly. Yes, Your Honor. Good, I said. If you complete all of these requirements, the contempt charge will remain on your record, but you won't face jail time. If you fail to complete even one requirement, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand? I understand, he muttered. Louder, please. I understand, Your Honor. Then you're dismissed. Bailiff, please escort Senator Drummond out. As they led him away, The gallery burst into applause. People were standing, clapping, cheering. An older man in a Red Sox cap shouted, "That's justice, Judge!" I didn't smile. I just sat back down and waited for the noise to fade. 4 months later, I got a letter. It was from Marcus Whitley. He'd finished his nursing degree. He got a job at Rhode Island Hospital. His mom's health was improving. He wrote, "Your Honor, thank you for giving me a chance. You treated me like I mattered. I'll never forget that." I also got a report from the food bank. Senator Drummond had completed his 80 hours. The manager said he was quiet, worked hard, and didn't complain. She said he seemed different by the end, humbler. I don't know if Richard Drummond really changed. People don't always change, even when they should. But I know this. In that courtroom on that Tuesday morning, he learned that power has limits, that respect is earned, not demanded, and that justice doesn't care how much money you have or who you know. I sat in my chambers that evening, long after everyone had gone home. The courthouse was quiet. The radiators had stopped clanking. I thought about Marcus, about his shaking hands and his bleach-stained sweatshirt, about how scared he was. And I thought about Drummond, about his gold cufflinks and his ugly sneer. 2 men, same courtroom, same laws, but only one of them understood what it meant to be equal. I picked up my coffee mug, cold now, and walked to the window. The streetlights were flickering on across Providence. Somewhere out there, Marcus was probably starting his shift at the hospital. Somewhere else, Drummond was maybe thinking about what happened. Or maybe he wasn't. But I knew one thing for sure. In my courtroom, justice isn't for sale. It never has been. And as long as I'm wearing this robe, it never will be. That's the lesson. Power doesn't make you right. Money doesn't make you important. What makes you matter is how you treat people when no one's forcing you to be kind. It's doing the right thing, even when it's hard. It's standing up, even when you're scared. Marcus understood that. I hope someday Richard Drummond does too. And if he doesn't, well, the door to my courtroom is always open. I'll be here, waiting, ready to remind him, because that's my job.